Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Leadership Speak series at L4. Today, I have a distinguished guest from another part of the continent, the Southern American continent. Today, I have the pleasure of welcoming my partner, Jose de la Ossa, CEO of NexGen Soluciones from Colombia. He is successfully running his organization, and I'm looking forward to his views on vision clarity, vision alignment, and how he looks at vision for his own organization. Welcome to the show, Jose.
Rigo, thank you very much for that kind introduction. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Thank you, Jose. Likewise, and this is the first time I'm inviting somebody from South America, so welcome to the show. And I'm sure my audience and the participants would love to hear your views. And it's a new culture for me too. I'd love to hear more about how you focus on your leadership styles. So without further ado, I would like you to walk us through your journey as a leader and a little bit about your firm and how your journey has been so far.
Thank you so much. So my journey started in Colombia. After finishing my college, my undergraduate, I traveled to the United States to complete my graduate studies. Once I finished my graduate studies, I started focusing in the IT and IT services industry. It was a wonderful journey. I had the privilege to work with some of the leading companies in the world, providing our consulting services. I had the privilege of making some amazing friends, and I had the opportunity of working with multiple cultures that eventually became, in some sense, part of my culture. So in that regards, I worked, of course, very closely with the US community. That's where we lived, and most of our clients were there. That being said, I worked very closely with my good friends, very good friends from India. And I have I would say again, the privilege of having a glance of their culture and their friendship, including visiting India in multiple occasions. It was a wonderful experience. And of course, my LATAM background. So those are the three cultures that I think are within me somehow. That journey took me to a next step, which is starting a NexGen. A NexGen is essentially a engineering services company, and we focus on two types of engineering: software engineering and AI engineering. We are a US-based company. That being said, our operations are in Latin America. We have our main offices in Colombia, in Bogota, and in Medellin. And we have team members across different countries in Latin America, including Argentina, Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, and of course, Colombia. Our team is right now 50 plus at core. And if you add other team members that are not part of the core team, we call it the flex team, we can reach almost 80 people. And most of them are within Latin America.
Awesome. So your organization today, I guess, is at some level becoming global now with partnerships with firms in the United States and in India. I think you're truly a global firm. So I guess when you are working in a firm which is distributed, one of the important things as a leader for you, Jose, is having a clear vision and articulating the vision. So the next question is, what was your approach to your vision? And how did you help your team members internalize this vision?
Very good. So, Ringo, the vision has evolved over the years. We've been in business now for almost 10 years. We're completing 10 years this year. And ironically, we are, or coincidentally rather, we are in a vision review process as we speak. And very early this morning, we were reviewing our vision from 8 years ago. And the vision has definitely evolved. So the first ingredient of a vision, I think, is allowing it to be flexible. There's some elements that don't change. In our case, is being of service with outstanding outcomes to and innovation to our clients, our employees, and our community. So those elements don't change, but other elements have evolved throughout the time. So I would say one, flexibility. Be open to flexibility as you evolve and as you grow as a company. Number two, there must be a clear purpose and an inspiring purpose. And as a colleague used to say, making money is not a purpose, right? A purpose must be
Very well said.
How you are going to provide value to stakeholders around your company. How are you going to provide a service that creates value to your clients, to your employees, to your community? And that purpose, to some extent, should come from your origins. You, Ringo, as an individual, me as an individual, we have our own unique qualities. We have our own personal purposes. I truly believe that if your personal purpose and if your unique qualities are somehow manifested in your company's purpose, it's going to enable you to grow more effectively and also to withstand the challenging times more effectively. Because in our case, we've had growth and we've had challenges. But if that purpose is very clear, it helps you go through those challenging times. So that's the second element on purpose, right? Not only a purpose for your company that is based on providing a service, but also that somehow is linked to your personal purpose. I think that goes a long way. The third element is a measurable impact. We must have a vision that is measurable in time and with each individuals. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. And values, those values, and that goes against to your purpose. Your personal values should somehow be imprinted in your company's vision. You and your partners, because most of our companies are owned by multiple partners, but those who lead the company, those values should be there. In those personal values should be there as a reflection of your company values. And finally, make it as clear and concise as possible. While I might be saying a lot of words now, one of my mantras is less is more. So when I communicate a vision, I try to make it as concise and impactful as possible.
Beautiful. And and I love and I resonate with almost all that you said. It was the thing about personal values, driving vision is so relevant, because otherwise you will not believe in it, I guess, if it's not aligned to your values. Now, my question is, the challenges you have today, 50 people, how do you help them internalize? What is it that you are doing differently where all your the 50th employee in your organization resonates with the vision Jose has? How do you ensure that? That's my excited. I'm excited to know how you do that.
So communicate, 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 and communicate. Um, in all of the forums that you work with. So if we are working at a senior management forum, always reiterate, this is our purpose, this is our vision, this is what we're working every day to accomplish. And then you take that to another area, maybe a division, one of the areas of your company. Within that division, you communicate that vision in a way that they, from their perspective, so let's say you're talking to operations, how this vision is related to what operations is doing. So they can feel identified with the vision based on the work that they are doing. There must be a relation between the work that you are doing and the vision that the company has. And likewise in different areas. And then you take it to even another layer, right? So within operations, you are speaking with a smaller team, perhaps a product management team or a project management team, how their specific task, how their specific work is related to that vision. So I would say, in summary, you must be able to communicate that vision in a way that it relates to all areas of the company, all areas of the company.
And can you give an anecdotal example of what that communication looks like? Is it like how do you do
Yes, yes. There's another component I'll add to that. So as I mentioned, a vision must have a measurable impact. So we have an approach at NexGen, and this is going to sound a bit aggressive, perhaps, but it is the truth. Everybody has a number that you are measured by on what you must be performing. So when we have those conversations, so I'm going to take another example. I'm going to talk about the sales team. So let's say I'm talking to an account executive, or even let's say I'm talking to a BDR. Say I'm talking to one of the very first steps on that sales process. That BDR would have a clear vision, or our objective is for that BDR to have a clear vision of what services he or she are offering to their potential clients. But most importantly, that BDR must have a clear understanding of the value that those services are providing to that client. So in a recent conversation I shared with a BDR, his name is Ramiro, we call him Rami. Rami, I want to tell you an anecdote. Last week, a client from New York came to visit us here in Colombia. He took a plane from New York to Colombia, and he visited us in our offices in Medellin. That client invited us to lunch, and that client told us, I needed to come here personally to thank you and your team for the wonderful work you provided. With your support, with your team's talent, with your structured organization, we managed to take a product from a prototype to an enterprise grade product in a period of 16 months and monetize it in many millions of dollars. I wanted to come personally to share that with you. So that's an example of what I share to the different members of our team. So now that BDR when he's reaching out for potential clients, he knows exactly the value that we are providing to those clients. So he knows the vision, he knows the service, and he knows the value. And I usually share anecdotes like that with different members of our team.
Excellent. I think you kind of partially answered my next question. So you took away my thunder a little bit, because my next question was, how do you align your team to the goals and purpose of your organization? So,
right. So I think that's going back to communication. So one of the purposes of our company is to provide services of outstanding quality and that provide exceptional value. So you must align your teams with that value that they're providing. And sometimes it's not a beautiful story like the one I shared with you. Sometimes it's a challenging story. So yesterday I was speaking with one of our project managers, and I was sharing with her a call I received from a client, telling her that the client needs to improve throughput because there's a certain timelines and objectives that he needs to meet in his product. And I gave her the responsibility. Her name is Juliana. We call her Juli. We call her Juli. Juli, what do you recommend we do? And what she said is, look, let's take the whole product development process and identify in each step how we can help the client speed up the process. So what we did with that question was align fully with our client's objective and enable her or empower her to come up with a solution that provides value. So when she completes that task, she will be very well aligned with our vision, which is provide outstanding services and provide value that exceeds our clients' expectations. So what we try to do is every time we have a chance, put that vision into practice in examples like what I shared with you. And we try to do it. What we need to do a bit more of is communication. Sometimes one can get tied up in day-to-day activities and not invest enough time in communication. So in order to communicate effectively, what we are structuring is periodic touch points, weekly, monthly, quarterly. We're already doing it, but doing it more from a vision perspective. And in each of those touch points with multiple audiences, repeat with examples.
I think that's very, very smart. I mean, it kind of sets me thinking with my own practice. I don't know if I do enough of my communication. So that's a great point you made. Communicate. Thanks for that, Jose. Now that you've been kind enough to give me really anecdotal examples, which makes it easy for people to understand, could you list the benefits you've seen, very tangible benefits, of a clear vision articulation and alignment?
So one is direction and focus. If everybody within your team understand the direction of the company and understands the focus of their particular area and how their contribution and focus in that particular area contributes to the overall direction, you're doing a good job. On a practical perspective, something that we do is we bring folks from different areas to join other areas So, for example, this is going to sound a bit different, but it's exactly what we're doing. We're taking somebody from our operations area, from our project management area. Her name is Daniela, and have her support the sales process. What we identified is that she is very strong in process. She's very strong in structuring, automating, and monitoring processes. She's doing a very good job within project management. So we said, look, we're in the process of doing the same thing in our sales, structuring, automating, and measuring digitally all of our aspects of our sales. We brought her in. So now she is an integrator. She is viewing all of the sales activities that the sales team are performing. And at the same time, she's working with delivery of engineering projects. And she's communicating all the good activities that she's seeing here with the delivery team. And she's being able to put those elements together. Okay, now I see what I deliver, where it comes from, and I see how the whole process structures. So that's an example of what we are focusing on doing. We call them integrators, and those integrators come from one function and invest 20% of their time, not more, on another function. But not only to observe, they work on that function. We try to identify what talent that person has. So in this case, Daniela, which is a project manager, is very strong in creating processes, automating processes, and monitoring processes. So we took that ability that she has into the sales team. She's helping us implement those elements that she's strong in, but at the same time, she's becoming an integrator between the sales team and the project management team. And you can do that throughout multiple areas. So one thing is communicating your vision, and one thing is showing examples and creating that integration so they can live it. They can literally feel it and live it.
Beautiful. I mean, this is, I'm it's like a class that I'm sitting in. I'm listening to so much of fun things. Now, the last question of our little discussion today, Jose, is what challenges have you faced in communicating your vision or aligning people to your vision? What challenges have you faced?
So there's an old saying by a management consulting and writer, Jim Collins. You need to have the right people on the bus, and once they're on the bus, you need to put them on the right seat, and if and when needed, you need to change them from that seat to another seat. So the challenges we've had are perhaps not having a process that enables us to make sure that 100% of the right people get on the bus. And what you really want for those folks who get on the bus are not necessarily their skills. Their skills are important, but the alignment in values, right? The alignment in values. If you have folks who are aligned in your values and they get on the bus, they're going to perform. Maybe in one seat today, maybe in another seat tomorrow. That doesn't matter really, but they're going to be outstanding performers. So I think we've had challenges. Maybe too much focus on skills, too much focus on those rock stars that are amazing in what they do, but perhaps they don't share our values. And from that point, we are starting on the wrong foot. So that's something that we need to continue to work on, and we are working on as we speak.
So if I understand you right, Jose, you're talking about hiring the right people?
Yes. When I say having the right people on the bus, is hiring the right people.
So in this case, any tips or any words of wisdom as to how you do that, so that what do you look for in your case when you're looking for the right people for your organization?
So we look for three things. And I'll summarize it in words of another consulting colleague that uses this very, very simple words. People that want it, people that get it, and people that know how to do it. People that want it are people that are motivated by your vision, that are motivated by what you are doing, that get excited with what you are doing, and they want to be part of that journey, right? People that don't want it are people that are in there for the money, for example. Okay, you're gonna pay me a lot of money, I'm there, but then there's another person who's gonna offer me X% more, I'll leave you, right? So those are the folks that you want to avoid. You want to have those folks that want it, that are very much aligned with what you're doing, that feel that, wow, I feel fun. I'm excited to be part of this journey. Number two, people that get it. People that get it are folks that have the skills that you need, and that's important. That's important. But it's in the order that I shared with you. The most important is the wanted, the people that get it, and then the third is so get it is skills, and the third is that they know what it takes. So let's say we are hiring somebody that might require 50 hours of work a week, and of course it will be compensated for that, and that person must work every 4 weeks. Every fourth week, that person must be able to work a weekend shift. Okay, if you bring somebody for that job that is not clear on those objectives that I just shared, those dynamics that I just shared, or is not willing to do it, you hired the wrong person. So those are the three criteria that we like: want it, get it, and know what they're getting into. And we try to be very effective when we are in the recruiting process to ensure that those three categories are checked.
Excellent. I think that it is so relevant, because I also completely believe in that. If people are there just for the money, you cannot chase that resource, because somebody is always going to be able to offer more than you can, and you lose that battle. But if there are people who are aligned and who are motivated, like you rightly said, the word I use typically is intrinsically motivated. I'm a big fan of the word intrinsic motivation. I'm sure you read Daniel Pink and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely.
And being a partial academic, I love the seminal work done by Deci and on intrinsic motivation. I'm a big fan of that, because if you're not intrinsically driven, everything else has a shelf life. But if you're intrinsically driven, you can keep going on and on and on. Work doesn't seem like work anymore. It seems like fun.
Exactly.
So, which is a pleasure always working with you, Jose. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking our time and talking to us. And as I said, this is part of my Entrepreneurial Leadership Forum, as a forum that I run for entrepreneurial leaders like yourselves. And I'm hoping to build a community of leaders where we can get together, talk about leadership learnings that we've had, share our learnings, learn from others, and hopefully, enhance our own journeys in the process.
Ringo, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, and I feel delighted to be part of this community.
Thank you, and really appreciate it. Your presence and your participation will truly add value to our forum. Thank you, Jose. You have a wonderful day, and I look forward to continuing our interactions. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Bye-bye.
Like, share, and subscribe to the EL Forum channel.